Hi and welcome Cancer. My name is Elizabeth Bradshaw and I'm a psychic medium here to do a monthly read for you for the month of July. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video today. I do appreciate you doing so. With monthly reads I do a little bit more in depth than the weekly, so just remember, especially for those of you that are cross-watching, not everything always resonates, so just take what fits and leave what doesn't, okay? So I will cover work, finance, money, career, and then I'll cover love and relationships, which includes always friends and family and partners that's there, obviously, as well. And then I'll just have a look at what it is that you need to know most for the month of July. Okay, so I have given the cards a good shuffle, as I do before all of my videos. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. I do believe I'm up over 1,200 likes now, subscriptions now, so that's really awesome. And always appreciate a comment or a thumbs up on the video as well. Okay, guys, so without further ado, let's have a look at money, finances, career, work, business, all of that kind of energy. Perhaps a little bit of juggling this month, but improvements coming along. Needing to let go a little bit. Feeling a bit undecided about that. But happiness and good things. Alright, nice. Let's have a look. Improvements, yeah, nice. Okay, so I want to say for you Cancer, first of all, they're showing that there is monetary improvements for you guys this month, and I feel like those monetary improvements are also coming through like a ease off, so not necessarily extra money coming in, but less money going out, okay? So it's like the balance goes back a little bit like this. So that's a nice energy that sits there with it, okay? But I feel like you kind of, regardless of, it definitely pertains to that energy, but I want to splay it out. Like it's almost like business wise, which is obviously some money, finances, and even just like ventures to move forward. It's like you've been trying and been hitting a little bit of a brick wall, and so you're feeling a bit not defensive, but you know, just a bit like, oh, what's the point, you know? But you're still kind of holding in there. And what I kind of want to say is sit and work on releasing that energy away, like you know, getting battered and bruised, you get battered and bruised. But those bruises recover. You need to recover along with them as well, and just release. Okay, letting go of frustrations around you. And I feel like when you do that, the Ten of Cups energy comes in. Be mindful where you're setting your intentions this month, okay, which is reflected with what we just talked about, I know, but when we focus on the things that could happen, things that are negative or things that get in our way, all of that kind of stuff, it's pretty much the energy that'll come through because it's what we're manifesting. You know, let yourself feel the excitement of when things actually do click in, and let yourself really sit with that energy that, you know, if you see it, you feel it, because if you don't, you're not going to, okay? But you've got the Change of Luck card, and you've got 3 beautiful cards in a row. Changing of Luck, which talks about energy shifting for the better, allowing you to blossom into your true self, which brings improvement in self and situations around all that work and finance that we've been speaking about. So, look, there's a good, nice, positive energy for money around you guys this month, Cancer, but I feel like you have to be very present in that energy, and you need to kind of see where you're at with it. You need to be mindful of your self-discipline, and self-discipline in the way of how you choose to react and deal with yourself as well, okay? Yeah, and I want to just go with that, like if you're looking for a job, if you're working on a business venture, if you're working on bringing something financial in, if you're expecting a promotion, all of that kind of energy that's there, it's like, I just want to go, okay? So that is what I have for you guys around money and finances, work, career this month. Business, da-da-da-da. Alright, so now I want to sit with love and relationships, and again, guys, I just allow whatever energy that wants to come through, so family, friends, partners. Okay, let's have a look. Trying to catch it. Nice. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, so your energy for the month. Testing the waters, the Hierophant, the 8 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, but the 2 of Cups as well. feel like money's actually having a big impact on relationships, and I want to talk about more marriage relationships that it's applying to. But I want to say to you guys, if there has been some money restraints impending on the relationship and creating a little bit of tension or, extra worry and concern, which has sort of been, making you feel like you're pulling apart a little bit, I do see that easing off this month, okay? You finish it with the Two of Cups and the Temperance card that's there as well. So shows, things are loosening up, but definitely that money restrictions have been there. But you're walking away from something. You're working out that something no longer works, and you walk into the Ten of Pentacles, which brings contentment. There's also a signing of money agreements as well shown in that. So for some of you, that'll actually be, yourself or your partner's got some, like employment that's come in, or, something that's been, talk about signed on the dotted line, that kind of energy that's there. Okay, it's actually going to bring a bit of reprieve around. So I just want to apply that to who that resonates with, those marriage relationships with. For those of you that are waiting for love to come in, I just want to say to you, I feel like there's going to be opportunities this month because you've got the Temperance card that sits there. Don't be too rigid, don't be too official, and don't be too quick to judge, okay? I just want to say that, be open and do that with yourself as well. I feel like if you can just release a little bit of the strong opinions around you, it's going to serve you better. And I feel like those strong opinions are just going to be like, they're born out of nervous kind of anxiety and expectation and things like that. So it's not like you're sitting with attitude with that, but perhaps in a way that's giving you a little bit of a standoffish attitude, okay? Even if that's not how you feel. So just be mindful of that. And I feel like it just kind of shifts and puts things in place. And so then you've got that beautiful Two of Cups energy that sits there as well, okay? I do want to say for you as well, for those that you will already be feeling this, and you would already been feeling it for several months is what I hear, attention are changing in a relationship. And I feel like this is a close relationship, okay? I feel like this is one that you've had for a while. The energy's been shifting, the energy's been changing away from it, and it's not like there's this big and walk away from each other, but it's like the energy's just pulling things apart. And it's almost like it's just time, okay? So don't hold on to relationships in friendship-wise that no longer serve, especially to that energy that it's applying to. As I said, I feel like you're already aware of this situation. I don't feel like it's coming in. I feel like it's here, and that you actually do deal with it this month, okay? Now let me just have another look. Getting all caught up in the tarot cards, so that's to remind. Yeah. So you've got the energy of self-denial, which can mean that you can fall into a little bit of self-sabotage, being a little bit stubborn and things like that. But they're just asking you to trust in yourself because, self-trust and self-belief is where it all begins. And that it is time, you know it and you feel it. Looking at the bigger picture and allowing that to bring in freedom, okay? Oh yeah, nice. And for those of you that applies with the marriage side of things that's there, it's like you're able to focus back onto the bigger picture beyond having to just go this week, and you get that beautiful sense of freedom that's there around it as well. It's a really nice, strong message with that. So, alright, so that is what I have for love and relationships for you guys, Cancer, okay? So now I'm just going to pull some cards and I'm just going to focus on what it is that you need to know most, alright? And I do my own... obviously I do my own spreads throughout anyway, but I do my own spread of what I do, which is a little bit more in depth, so a little bit different than what I did last month, okay? Alright, so let's just have a look. Okay. So some of you that are going through legal situations, I feel like there's some more information that comes in, and I feel like it creates a little bit more work to do, but it's just a step. It's just a step, okay? It's almost like someone's not trying to pull the rug out from underneath you, but making you work hard for your dough, so to speak, you know what I mean? So for those of you that are already in legal, I feel like that's going to apply to you this month. You've got the Tower energy and the Three of Swords there too, the Emperor and Seven of Pentacles. So let's just have a look. I want to pull... Okay. Okay, so I do want to touch back a little bit on that friendship side of things. I feel like you find out something, a truth, an awareness that may actually pull this apart. And as I said, I don't see or feel the confrontation, but I do feel the taffy pull apart. Okay, and just when I sit with those energies that's there, I want to say that there's very much trust in that, because you've got the Tower and the Three of Swords energy that's jumping at that. But you've got the Emperor and the Seven of Pentacles, a few work frustrations and bits and pieces, but we've spoken about those in their capacity, but the Emperor sits there with a nice stability. You've also got 1, 2, 3 major arcana for the month as well. Okay, so what I want to say to you guys, Cancer, all right, is that there is some confusion and doubt around you that's been creating a little bit of clouded judgment, but by being able to sit back in life and just kind of go, not shit happens and just be blasé about it, but realising that shit does happen, and you've just kind of got to get through things sometimes in life, and it can be very much about the choice and the attitude that you make, and by just putting it down as circumstantial rather than so personal, it allows some of that energy and that cloudiness to lift and drift away, okay? And I feel like it gives you more strength and energy as well, because you realise it's not necessarily a personal attack and you can fight back just as hard, okay? Obviously it takes courage to do that, and you've got the confrontation of fears around there. But, whenever we do confront fears and push ourselves through them, as this card says, it brings freedom and courage and release. And it's a really nice positive energy that you're going to be able to carry along with you a lot further than now. And so, yeah, you've got the transformation card that comes straight after it. And it always is, when we do sit and confront our fears and we become more stronger, it brings transformation and blossoms, it helps us blossom into our true self. You've got the balance card that's there. Okay, so just be mindful of your balance in the capacities of what we've spoken about already. But I also do feel like around with what we're speaking about here in that confronting fears, and when it comes to that energy that's there, if you've had a really big day, don't keep pushing forward. Give yourself some rest and reprieve as well. Yeah, I knew I was going to follow this self-care card. You've got the completions card that's there, and you've also got the Tower card that sits. Okay, so it's both towers that have kind of popped out. Something will happen quite quickly around one door opens, another one shuts. I said, and I do feel this is around relationship energy. For some of you, though, it's actually going to apply for an unexpected job, and I feel like for those of you that applies to, you've been there a long time, you've had a suspicion that it was coming, but you thought you were all right, and then boom. Okay, and I want to say for those of you that does connect with this month, all right, I do feel like there's a quick turnover and a quick switch over, and it's interesting. I even want to draw to that marriage energy that we were talking about, because I feel like when you move on, I'm literally only hearing 2-3 weeks as a switch over and a changeover. It's like something better's there anyway. Okay, so just really be mindful that as one door shuts, another one opens. Okay, for those of you that applies to, it's yeah, I definitely don't want to go just because you're married. I just feel like it's stronger to those connections of marriage. All right. So you've got the healing card that's there, and I want to say to you that there is that balance about connecting with, shit happens, and confronting fears and allowing the transformation to come in. It's also about allowing the healing to come in, and I'm pretty sure you guys have picked this card up a couple of times, either in the weeklies or last month, but allowing that healing to come in, not letting the experiences and circumstances create a definition of self around you, but allowing that healing to come in and being okay with the fact that you are moving forward. All right, because that brings beautiful growth that's there, and it's all about self-awareness and opportunity and potential and everything else like that. Detoxing away what no longer serves you. I think that there's a bit of self-awareness that's going to come to you through this, and you realising that some of your behaviours or emotions and feelings and things like that aren't serving you any longer. It's going to be hard to let go of them, but I feel like you should put some mindfulness in doing that. You got the Change of Luck card that falls straight after it, which talks about the fact that that's going to shift the energies around you and see improvements in self and situations. It's always easy to focus on the hard, worrying things, but be really mindful where you're setting your intention this month, Cancer, and every single month, because where you set your focus, where you set your intention is generally the outcome that you're going to get. All right, and so focus on the good, focus on what you want. It's all about mindset and mindfulness and everything else like that. And there is a video coming out this week of the difference between awareness and mindfulness as well. So that'll be on YouTube too. So feel free to check that out. So what you need to know most for the month, be mindful of your health, okay? Both physically, spiritually and mentally. I feel like I need to apply that too. Just be mindful of your health. There's no particular warning attached to it. Just make sure you're doing that self-care, okay? Thinking about the long term and paying attention. Yeah, paying attention. letting go, releasing binds. And that's very much in that energy that we've been talking about here, okay? And that's that extra message of what you need to know most. These last 4 cards of what you really need to know. Self-care needs to be paramount around you, okay? And that there is an opportunity to move on, and it's about moving forward to better things, okay? And again, that's reflected in the energy that we've spoken about here, all right? So Cancer, that is what I have for you this month, and I do hope that you've enjoyed your time with me today. I've enjoyed reading for you as always. Now guys, as I've asked before, I do appreciate a comment or a thumbs up on the video that's there. What else was I going to say? Friday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, New South Wales. I will be live either here or on Facebook doing free readings, and the Sunday gathering is on this week as well. So thank you very much again for joining me today. Take care until I see you again, either on the daily reads, the weekly reads, or the live feeds. But until I do, I look forward to seeing you. Have a good night.